So, I'm going to be talking about some of the Star Fox games that I really enjoy. I guess the franchise, as well as just the series of games, also created by Rare, who I mentioned in the Banjo Kazooie video. The Star Fox games are really good. I'll start off by discussing the original Star Fox. That is a 3D uh, game in a sense on the SNES. You're moving through 3D. The graphics are in 3D, lower level 3D graphics, vector based, and you can clearly see that they're vector based. They don't look like the graphics do nowadays, which, well, nowadays I can barely tell the difference between real life and graphics created on a new system like the PS5. But these are really simple vector graphics, but it is 3D, and you do move throughout the different planets in a 3D environment. So you can move left, right. You don't really move forward or backwards because your ship just travels automatically. You don't have control over how your ship moves forward. Your ship just moves forward throughout the whole game. But you can brake and slow down, but it does end up moving forward again. So you can control your movement in other senses, though. You can do barrel rolls by flipping your ship to the side. I guess I should describe what the game is before I actually go into what the moves are. It's basically about a group of, I guess, adventurers, space adventurers would be the best word to describe them, protectors of the galaxy, so to speak. I don't really know the specifics behind the story, but you have a fox humanoid character, you have a bird humanoid, a toad humanoid, and then a rabbit humanoid, and they're all members of this Star Fox team who are responsible for protecting the galaxy from an evil entity known as Andross, who is a monkey humanoid or an ape humanoid. I don't think he has a tail, so I don't remember, but he's one of those. So anyway, that's like the main story. It's just about this group of protectors of the galaxy who fly around in these Arwing ships that fly out of a larger mothership called the Great Fox. The game starts with the Fox humanoid I mentioned, Fox McCloud. He's the main character you play as. The other three humanoids I mentioned, the bird Falco, the toad Slippy, and then the uh, older rabbit who is Peppy Hare. Um, I know a bit more of the story to it. Fox's father was killed by Andross, and now Fox sort of is vengeful because of that. Fox's father, James McCloud. There's also trying to think of. I'll have to wait till the N64 version to mention those characters, but those are the four characters for this game, as well as Andross, who in this game isn't actually depicted as an ape or a monkey. He's just a really big gray face, which I find to be kind of cooler, but that's fine that he's a monkey or an ape in the later games. Anyway, as said, you're in your Arwing ship, which flies out of the Star Fox mothership, and another character called General. I'm trying to think. Pepper, or is that his name? I think that's it. He's a dog humanoid. Trying to think of what his. It's not Sergeant Pepper. I think it's General Pepper. Yeah, General Pepper. So that might be a play on the Sergeant Pepper thing, which I never even realized till now. But yeah, he is dressed in Sergeant Pepper-like attires. If you ever have listened to the Beatles or watched the Beatles videos, um, but he's in the game also, and he tells you where to go, what your missions are. Has his infamous "good luck" line that he delivers to you before you fly off to your next mission on whatever new planet that is. So you fly around in this spaceship. Again, you can't control your forward movement. through the level. It's a first-person point of view, but you can see your ship in front of you. So you see your ship moving in front of you. It's not like you're actually in the ship. But anyway, the ship flies through these levels. As mentioned, you can do barrel rolls to move your ship. You can move it side to side. Also, barrel rolls are more of an evasive maneuver you can use to dodge enemy attacks, as well as obstacles that you find throughout the levels as you fly through them. There are bombs you can pick up or as you fly through them. If you obtain these bombs, you can then later fire them using the B button on the SNES, and they cause great damage to enemies, as well as other structures which you can destroy, which may be in your way. Your main weapon, though, is a laser pulse or a laser beam, I guess. Not really a laser. I don't know if I would call it laser beam because when I think of a beam, I think of one like singular slow beam emerging from a laser. Light amplification, stimulated emission of radiation. But it's not really a pulse ball like you'd find in Metroid. It is a flat sort of beam, so I guess I'll call it a beam. But you fire that from your ship as your main attack. Not as strong as the bombs, but a bit faster, and you can still destroy enemies with it, as well as obstacles. The characters do communicate with each other during the game, so if one character is in trouble, one will mention that. Hey, help me out. If there's friendly fire, they'll mention that, like, hey, what the heck are you doing? Which is interesting element to games that I have not seen any others before this, but I don't know, there may have been. So that's cool. So yeah, the levels are very colorful. Again, they are 3D, vector based. Lots of grays and blues to them, but it's a great game, really fun. Get to shoot other enemies and do barrel rolls and fly around, and I think you can increase your speed too at certain points. I think you have to have enough energy to do that, but if you do have that, you can do a thrust move where your ship will move at a higher rate of speed. So these are that's the first Star Fox game on the SNES, released back in '93, and then on the N64 there is Star Fox 64, which is a continuation of the series. Has better graphics, better 3D graphics. The characters, when shown on the screen, I should have mentioned this in my discussion on the SNES version. They are 2D in format. They're 16-bit still, as with the rest of the 3D graphics, but they're actually just like flat 2D 16-bit images when you see their characters and when they speak. The characters in this game are fully fleshed out 3D characters. They're very blocky and polygonal, I guess would be the word to use for them. But they are good for the time and for that system. The graphics are very good. Um, you still have the same four main characters as mentioned, and then you still have General Pepper. He's there too. You also have Andross, who's a monkey slash ape now. Um, I'm gonna be honest, I have not beat the game. I think there's another character called Bill Gray in there, who, if I remember correctly, is a gray dog, and he's an ally to Star Fox, and he'll help you out a bit at certain points throughout the game. And then there's also a rival Star Fox gang called Star Wolf, and I guess it's one of the members is the nephew of the main antagonist, Andross, Andrew Olinky or something like that. I think that's his name, Oinky. I can't remember what his name is. Um, Andrew Oiniki, Oikani. Yeah, Oikani, and he's a. I'm guessing Andros is a monkey because Andrew has a tail, and so Andros must be a monkey also. He is one member of this group of antagonists to the Star Fox team, this sort of parallel group. There's Andrew, there's Pigma Dengar, who's a pig, There is Leon Kowalski, who is named after a Blade Runner character. He's that first android you see in the film who kind of looks like me, kind of. And then you also have Wolf O'Donnell, who is Star Fox's parallel. So you have these two parallel groups of starfighters, Star Fox, and then the Star Wolf. Or no, is it Star Wolf? Um, I think the name for the wolf is different than um, Wolf's group is different from Fox's group. So Star Fox, Star Wolf. I think it's Star Wolf. Yeah, that's where they don't have that in here. Um, that's strange. But anyway, so you have parallels to each of the main characters. Wolf O'Donnell for Fox, and then Leon Kowalski for Falco, who is the second in command. Third in command is Peppy Hare, and then Pigma Degmar. And I think it was Pigma Degmar who was responsible for killing Fox's father, if I remember that correctly. And then you have Andrew Oikony for fourth in command for Slippy Toad. So yeah, I'm gonna try to find out what this name of their group is. I thought it was Star Wolf. Yeah, I think it is Star Wolf. I don't know why I thought it was something different, but yeah, it is Star Wolf. So yeah, it's basically just parallels to the main characters, the protagonists of the game. These are sort of the secondary antagonists to Andros, and that's always cool to see. You have these sort of like demented or evil versions of characters that already exist. But in terms of personality of the characters, I guess I'll go into this a bit because I'm talking about characters already. Star Fox, their leader, Fox McCloud, is very straightforward, very um, serious. Not super nice, not super mean. Sort of has a good balance of being strict yet fair. Um, Falco is also like this. I think Falco holds a bit of a chip on his shoulder for being second in command, and that comes through a bit in points of anger and kind of these snap moments of anger where he snaps at the other characters and/or Fox, mostly Fox, who I think he's jealous of. And then you have Peppy Hare, who's the older member, who was a colleague to Fox McCloud's father. Um, so Fox McCloud, um, you have Falco Lombardi, who's the second in command, and then Peppy Hare, third in command. Peppy Hare is just sort of older, just tries to stay out of everybody's business as much as he can. Sort of is a neutral character, doesn't want to get involved with the rivalry between Fox and Falco, so just sort of minds his own business. And then you have Slippy Toad, who's a bit whiny. He kind of has a whiny sort of voice to him, but a kind character, very nice. And yeah, so those are the different types of personalities for the characters. The protagonists. For the antagonists, so you have Star Wolf, their leader, Wolf O'Donnell, very gruff. You have second in command Leon Kowalski, who's more sort of erudite. And then you have Pigma Dengar, who's a bit more boorish. And then you have Andrew Oikony, who's also whiny, like Slippy. Um, so yeah, those are the character personalities that you can see more so in this game. A bit so in the first game also, but more so in this. And gameplay is essentially the same, just better graphics. I can't speak too much on whether or not there's more levels. but the graphics definitely are better. I think I did beat both of these games, Star Fox and Star Fox 64, if I remember correctly, but maybe not Star Fox 64, but I do remember beating Star Fox. Both games are essentially the same, just N64 has better graphics, more characters to them. Andross is a monkey now. That's my assessment of it. There might be more to it. Again, definitely feel correct, feel apt, or feel don't feel any pressure to leave comments or corrections in the comment section because I might be getting some of this wrong. So do correct me if that's the case. So yeah, that's Star Fox 64. For the GameCube, Star Fox Adventures, which differs a bit in terms of gameplay and format, it's no longer a uh, first slash third person shooter, I guess would be the best way to describe the first two games. This does have that in it, and there are times where you do fly your ship and do that. But most of the game is more similar to Zelda Ocarina of Time, Zelda Wind Waker, Zelda Twilight Princess, those types of games, where you're now actually playing and controlling Fox McCloud, not just him and his ship, but him and his body. It does have a different villain. Spoiler alert, Andross is still in it, and that's when you use your ship at the end. So I'll put spoiler alerts in all these videos, but in the descriptions. But I can't remember the exact name of the villain, but it is a dinosaur humanoid, a T-Rex type of creature. I can't remember the plot very well. I know there's a really attractive Fox humanoid, female version of Fox, so to speak. I think her name's Crystal, who has like a staff and a crystal power or something like that. I can't remember exactly what she has, but there's another character called Tricky who you make use of to find items. He is a small, young Triceratops who's a bit annoying in personality, but kind of similar to Slippy, but also very kind also. Um, but yeah, it's a good game. So similar to Zelda, where you have to go through levels, and Fox has a staff in this one, which he uses to defeat enemies with. A little confused why they didn't give him a blaster because that would be more apt to the genre, but that's fine. He has a staff in this one. He plays similar to Link in the Zelda games, as mentioned. You can, like in Zelda Ocarina of Time, you run up to something like a block, and then if you run up to it, he'll automatically climb up it and then over it if you just continue to push the D-pad. So yeah, it's more of an action adventure type of game rather than a first slash third person 3D shooter. It is in 3D. It's on the GameCube, so it has really good 128-bit graphics for the GameCube. And so yeah, I'm just trying to think of what else here. So that's kind of like what it is. It's sort of like Star Fox taking on a Zelda um, style. So yeah, you play as Fox. You can use his staff to defeat enemies with. You have to solve puzzles by pushing blocks around at certain points. From what I remember, he can run and climb up ledges, and other things as mentioned. I think you can grab onto a ledge, and then shimmy yourself across it also. So that's another element of the game that I remember. I think that's part of the game, if my memory serves me correctly. But yeah, just a really fun action adventure game. A lot of good puzzles. Sort of Star Fox taking on Zelda Ocarina of Time would be the one that I would compare it to. But it's good. And there is some flight in there, and the main boss, you find out that Andross is the true villain behind the true villain behind all of this. And so I don't know why I put quotes there. That was wrong of me to do that. But you do fight him at the end in your ship, as in the other two games at the end, and it's similar in terms of the style of boss fight found for Andross in the other two games. So you have Star Fox Adventures. There's also Star Fox Guard, which I've played, where you're not playing as Star Fox. I think you're playing as Slippy, and you're not flying around, but you're listening to your uncle who's giving you commands on how to protect a base that a Star Fox base that's on land. So you, from what I remember, I haven't played this game a lot, but you use various types of cameras to find invading enemies who are robots who are attacking your base. So you see the enemies with your camera, and then this is on the Wii U, so you can use your controller for both controlling the cameras. You can use touchscreen for that. And I should have mentioned that in the Wii U review. There's touchscreen on the Wii U also. You can use that, I think, either with the controllers or by using your fingers to touch the screen. So you can point your camera in the direction of the enemy. I think that's how it is. So you point your camera in the direction of where the enemy is, and then I think you have to tap the screen at a certain location in order to destroy the enemy with a certain turret or a certain gun. And each of the different enemies have different powers. Some are just basic robots that can be destroyed easily. Some have intermittent shields. Some have shields that are more permanent and need to be deactivated. So that's an interesting concept for a Star Fox game, and I really did enjoy playing that. Never got very far into that game, but I give it a good review overall. And Star Fox Zero, which is returning back to Star Fox's original sort of format, first slash third person 3D space shooter. Again, you're Star Fox. You have the aid of Slippy and Peppy and Falco, at least for part of the game. I think towards the end, you do end up going on your own. I'm trying to think of what else. James McCloud, spoiler alert, James McCloud does make an appearance in it to guide Star Fox through one of the last levels. I was never able to beat this game. I was able to get to the last level, though. Um, this takes place before the events of Star Fox on SNES, from what I understand, hence the name Star Fox Zero, which is cool. You kind of get to see what happened. It's still after Fox's father is killed, or assassinated rather, by Pigma Degmar. Pigma, is it Dengar or Deng? I have to look that up. Pigma Dengar. Anywho, he does make an appearance in the game and guides you through a level towards the end of the game. Yeah, Pigma Dengar. So this is also a very good addition to the Star Fox series. Goes back to its roots and has similar gameplay to the one on SNES and N64. In this one, you can also use another vehicle known as the tank, which you use on land when you have to go onto a planet's surface. And that's found in the N64 game also, which I failed to mention, so I apologize for not mentioning that for the N64 one. But this tank can be used on the ground. You can still do barrel rolls with it. The tank basically just flips over itself. You can move it around. You can move the turret around to aim as you move and point it at enemies, making it a bit more complex than the R-Wing, but it's an interesting gameplay element, and that was really enjoyable also in both the N64 and was this for Wii U or for, I think it was for Wii U. I don't think this was for Switch. Star Fox, yeah, Zero's on the Wii U. So good score um, from IGN, 7.5, Nintendo Life, 8. Amazon.com gave it a 4.5, so good game, has good scores. Better graphics than the N64 version of this type of game, 128-bit. So if you want to return, if you play Star Fox Adventures and then you kind of wanted to get back into what you found in the original two Star Fox games, this is the game for you. And yeah, that's about all I can say for that. It's basically just a better version of Star Fox 64. Better graphics, a little smoother gameplay, but the same elements of gameplay. Some different types of missions, I should mention, which you do have to have a bit more strategy for, and take a little bit more time. So that's another element or two that makes the game a bit better, in my opinion, than Star Fox on SNES and Star Fox on N64. But overall, very good game, and I highly recommend the Star Fox series if you're a gamer. And that's it for this video. Feel free to click like and subscribe if you wish. And feel free to leave comments in the comment section. Thanks again for listening. I apologize, I'm losing my voice here. But thanks again, and I hope you have a good rest of the day.